Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. HeirofCarthage here, and you all have said in the past that I have been a steady supply of dad jokes in a world where they, well, may or may not be needed depending on your outlook. Today, though, I have one for you. This one courtesy of Mr. I'm going to call him Gatton. He says, knock knock. Who's there? Irona. Irona who? Irona Hail Gunners, okay? Irona Hail Gunners. You know the way they say it? You know what I'm talking? Okay, alright. Go ahead and clean the blood out of your ears, and we'll get things started. But I do appreciate Mr. Gatton here for the awesome comment. Appreciate him taking the time to leave that for us. Let's go ahead and get things started. We are back in the Yuan Bo campaign. I will be getting to some more of your comments. I don't know if all of them are going to be knock-knock jokes, but one way or the other, I hope we have a good time today. As per usual, I'm going to continue to try and focus on explaining what my strategy is so that you all can understand. If you have any questions about that, please let me know in the comments so I can answer it for you. And then, of course, I'm always curious to continue to hear your feedback on the DLC so far if you've been playing it. And, of course, if you didn't buy it, feel free to let us know why you skipped it. We just like hearing from everybody down there, so thank you. Let's see, we've got some skill points here on a dragon-blooded Shugengen Lord. However, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, okay, this Lord is going to be in action soon.
Lord reporting.
There's a lot of routes you can go with these. Personally, I like to go with the sure aim and unyielding first, because it just makes our cheap troops, crossbows, other stuff, a little more powerful. And I think a little more useful, though we don't have crossbows in this one. That might have been better off to put those. Yeah, these don't hit Iron Hail Gunners. Yeah, so we need to undo this skill point. I mean, we'll probably have crossbows in this army at some point, but we don't at the moment. Let's go ahead and just drop that into unyielding. So there we go. That'll give our Jade Warriors some benefits there that will come in quite handy. Of course, we have a war drum in that army too, which will significantly help. If I remember right, yeah, we had another army that was stationed here, ready to go after the Chaos forces holding the Turtle Gate. That will happen on the next turn. We only have one cannon in that army. Might be useful to get more. Cannons are significantly powerful, so I might do a little rejiggering in this army, but we'll see as time goes on. It looks like we have some technology to research here. We got inner speed. I don't think speed's going to be a huge deal. I'm actually going to just kind of work through to this administrative subsidies and see if we can kind of just work our way on through here so that we can, oh, I can actually get to it from here. I didn't realize that. Is there anything in between here that I want? Armor for lions is kind of cool. Construction cost, hardened bamboo. Now that'll work. I just want to be able to get through to this next tier here. There's some good upgrades for both our crossbows and our Jade Warriors with halberds. And that also goes for the Celestial Dragon crossbows, which is pretty cool. So we'll want to take care of that. And then let's take a look. Our compass is just continuing to point at the Warpstone Desert, which right now is exactly where I want it because it's helping earn us a considerable amount more cash on our caravans. You can see this one is headed out for a nice little chunk of change, assuming that it gets there alive. It did get ambushed right off the bat, but it is otherwise looking to be potentially successful. At the Dragon Gate, we need to put in our first facility here. Probably want to put in one for growth. The upkeep one would be nice so that we could drop our upkeep cost, but we definitely want to start with being able to grow the settlement at an improved rate. And it does say we have buildings available. We do have a little bit of cash on hand. The Isthmus is going to be our only building spot, supposedly. Let's go over there and check it out. We do not have any trade goods that we're going to need, but we could start to build defenses there. Yuan Bo is sailing, and he is very nearly arrived to the Great Turtle Isles.
Approach and
Wolfheart did declare war on Rakarth, and so this is going to be a race because he is headed towards the Chamber of Visions, which is one of the settlements that I would want here. So unfortunately, we're going to probably just lose in that race to start picking up this territory. But I'm going to rush for the Great Turtle Isle because it's the one that I need the most for my victory conditions. So let's go take a look. It says there's an outpost available with the New World colonies. Let's just go ahead and construct that. And then it says we have a commandment available here. Let's put the extra growth in. I'm going to skip the compass, and I'm going to get a couple of your comments here as we go through the turn-in. Mad Ben says, hey, Air, long-time listener. Personally, I will be buying the DLC, but not just yet, given I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield is right around the corner. Although CA's statement upset some people, I thought it did a reasonable job of explaining the need for the price increase. I think the fumble on the play was not realizing or releasing the statement ahead of time explaining the need for all the upcoming price increase and choosing this DLC in particular to do it. Overall, it's fairly comparable to the Paradox DLC prices, and plenty of us pay for those. So there you go, another perspective on the DLC situation. Let's go ahead and jump into this battle. Looks like the druki, Blessed Dread, attacking Celestial Patchy, the Jade Peasant, who, remember, got a major melee upgrade an episode or two ago, so he's going to be an absolute monster in melee. And then we do have magic in there now, too, so I'm not really sure where these guys got the idea that this was a smart attack, but let's make them pay. Flame of Udin says, you're starting to gather awesome strength while the other dragons wane. Can't wait to see them confederate with you. First time seeing the undead faction to Cathay Southwest. To do so good, keep them under a watchful eye. Yeah, so I think you're talking about the Caravan of Blue Roses, maybe off to our southwest. They are very dangerous. They did get, I think, nerfed just a little bit in a recent patch, like the Dead Rise Again mechanic. What? Like, what? What am I even looking at? All right. That was a good beginning view. Yeah, so I think they did get nerfed just a little bit, but they are still likely to be very powerful. So yes, we will certainly keep a watchful eye on them. I'm actually going to just make a very turtle-y formation here. Speaking of turtles, I was walking my dog earlier, and he found a turtle on the side of the trail that we were walking, and he was pretty excited about it. So, very proud of himself. Let's see. All right. There we go. So we've got our edges turtled off, and I'm gonna get the crows ready to support. This is kind of weird. Like, I've noticed this in the last patch where you'll drag units out and it puts like a gap between them for no reason. Anybody know what's going on there? I'm not familiar with it. Astromancer here. I'm gonna take all my swords off of formation attack. Some people might be wondering why. In formation attack, essentially what happens is you can see that our unit is kind of like a rectangular formation here. They will stay in that formation, and if an enemy, let's say, comes up, and I think I have my telestration tools. Yeah, so if an enemy comes up in kind of like a blob, in like a blocky formation like this, our guys will stay in their formation. So if you're looking to like just hold a line, it's fine, and we kind of are looking to do that here. But what'll happen if you take that off, and let's say those guys come up in the blocky formation again, your unit will start to wrap into those flanks and attack the side of them better. So that's the difference between formation attack and not. So if you really want your unit to hold a formation in a street or hold a turtle formation like I have here, you can leave that on. It's up to you. I'm going to take it off though, and I want my units to be able to be a little more offensive here. And I'm not just talking about their smell from weeks of no showering. I just mean in their actual attack capabilities. So here we go. I'm going to move up. The druki apparently think that they can just sit on their butts and wait on reinforcements. And reinforcements are coming for them, but from a great distance. They have to come around this like kind of valley here. They don't have direct access. And so I'm going to move up and pour down crossbow fire into the druki of the Blessed Dread. We will be well outside their range. My crossbows have significant range at the moment, and I believe that's upgrades that we've thrown. So yeah, we're going to get very significant range differentials here. We do not have the armor piercing of the Dark Shards. And again, for those of you less familiar with the game, a unit with a high armor rating essentially is going to shrug off a certain amount of base damage. So missile strength, as you can see here, has base damage and armor piercing damage. Base damage Armor can help ignore some of it. We're getting pummeled by a black arc right now. I'm gonna have to be ready to dodge that. I forgot we were close to their settlement where the black arc would be operable. But yeah, so the armor helps shrug off some of that base damage, but when you have armor piercing damage, it ignores armor values. So that's why the druki dark shards, despite the range differential, are very dangerous if they close, because their penetration of armor is significant there. See, at 11 versus, like, if you take a look at my crossbows, it's going to be rather insubstantial. Yeah, only 7. So they get significantly more, ignoring of armor. These guys are really determined to hold their ground. This is a massive mistake by the AI. I don't typically see them make this kind of mistake at this difficulty setting. It's a little odd for them to be standing here and absorbing this kind of beating. It's probably because they are so desperate for the reinforcements, and the AI just can't comprehend. Like, for instance, if the AI wanted to, they should have deployed farther back in here, closer to the reinforcements. But yeah, so some people would say, hey, this is why the AI had all those buffs, to make them better. Well, it doesn't make them better if they still sit here and take this beating. I'm sitting over here taking a beating because I'm busy talking, but you can see here that the decision-making cost the AI substantially here. So I'm going to keep driving home the point that I've been making. And that point is that if CA would just... Ouch! Holy crap! Stupid black arcs. If CA would just focus some of their effort on the decision-making of the AI, so rather than the AI just basically, like in this case, making this decision, charging me, or falling all the way back to the reinforcements and drawing out the time, those things would all make the AI far more capable. And it would make all of this far more interesting as well. We are getting a lot of damage in now. So this is what I warned you about with the druki. They are capable of dishing out significant damage when they get into the right situation. I'm going to target those shades down. There we go. I do have some units I can bring in as reinforcements. The black arc's going to continue to pummel us. I could try harder to dodge it, and I have in other battles, and I probably will. But at the same time, like, I'm kind of busy trying to talk you all through something, so if I get hit some, it just kind of is what it is at the moment. Alright, so I used my Crowman, got rid of one of their dark shards, and we got rid of their Medusa. The Blood Rack Medusas can cause a lot of damage. And let's just start mowing these guys down. And then as their reinforcements show up, we'll do the same thing. So Cathay's crossbow power is substantial, and it'll be something that will be difficult for many enemies to reckon with. Let's see what those reinforcements look like. I know that they have a number of missile units coming up, so we'll keep an eye on that. I think actually what I'm going to do... are they about to bombard me again? Probably. I'm going to actually start moving some crossbows over in this direction. Their hag is over here. I'm not significantly worried about the hag. I'm going to put a little bit of help on my swords here. Come on, get away from that. I'm going to try and move up some of my... Celestial Patchy is absolutely kicking the crap out of this character over here. And I'm not surprised. His melee capabilities grew substantially. What is that? Oh, it's a Flock of Doom. I was wondering what it was I was seeing there, but... Alright, we got their lord out of the way. I'm going to move up over here, and I'm kind of moving my crossbows into this wood line because we're going to have a great opportunity to mow down their own crossbows right as they come through this choke point. Whenever the AI moves around a choke point like this, they tend to come tight around it and blob all their forces in here. So if you have area damage magic or missiles or artillery, be ready to focus on that. And that's what I'm doing right here. I was trying to move up into that position so I could help hold that down. Let's bring up some reinforcements, and let's keep my Crowman on reserve, and let's get Celestial Patchy up here to help deal with some of their units. So our crossbows are unloading from the cover of the woods. You can see that they're already low on ammunition because they've dealt so much damage to our enemies. That's good news. I'm going to bring these Crowmen in here, and I'm going to split one unit off to that, put two on the other. So we'll kind of run some focus fire, and then the focus of the Crowmen. Let's go ahead and countercharge. Do a little bit of buffs here. And then I've got reinforcements arriving.
Defenders of Cafe.
And our Jade Warriors should hold just fine. Our crossbowmen are doing spectacular work here. They have wiped out the Dark Shards, and we're going to wipe out these Shades as well. Shades, again, very dangerous unit. Limited range, but competent in melee against low armor. Cathay, though, does not have a lot of low armor, so Shades are good at range against Cathay, but they are less valuable at a distance. You can see that our crossbows have substantial firepower. Many of them have already ripped all the way through their ammunition supplies. So just to give you an idea how that works, some of our units routed and looks like they're coming back. And I had a few here that were just sitting around because I was busy chatting at you all. That's okay. Hopefully you all got some information here that was useful in terms of how the AI behaves, where you can potentially choke point them on maps like this, and how to take advantage of that stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead and I'm going to kill a few more of their troops here on the way out the door. I want to make sure that they take very substantial damage. I think we just wiped out both of those units simultaneously. Let's go get rid of this. Take Celestial Patchy. I'm just going to chase some of these units and do a little damage to them while we're on the way out the door. I'm actually going to take all these guys out of defensive stance so that they'll actually follow these units. There we go. And we are swarming these Bleak Swords. So like I said, I'm going to pad the kill count and get rid of as many of these reinforcements as we can.
Swift and fierce. Grand General.
There we go. Looking good. I don't think our Jade crossbowmen are particularly fast like some of these units usually are, and it's because they're heavily armored. I don't know what their mass looks like either, but there we go. So we're getting pretty substantial damage done there too, and then these units going down quickly. Yep, that unit got wiped out. Wow, these crowmen seem to be pretty good at killing fleeing units. It's pretty impressive, honestly. I'm going to fast forward for a second while we continue to wipe these guys out. I guess I can get another comment here. This one's going to come from Daniel. It says, I love your content, and I'm sure that you're right when you say the AI has improved overall, and sure if it must be hard to make a good idea, but the game is still far from it, and it shows in the siege battle. It shows here, too. It says, when 3 units of Marauders casually walked up in front of the breach to get shot to pieces for no apparent reason towards the end again. The 3 meme units blobbed up against the Jade Warriors' war drum. Yeah, and didn't peel off. Exactly. So, and he says this is plain stupid. It is. It's extremely stupid. And so, again, to me, though, it continues to hammer home the point that the issue with the AI, it doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to be an AI who always makes the same decisions as the player and is as good as a player. It just has to be an AI that's capable of assessing some of these small decisions and attempting to make better ones. So, like here, I had 6 crossbow units. You don't stand off against Cathay with 6 crossbow units. Not at least without bringing your own skirmishers up front to attempt to skirmish down those crossbows or to focus your magic on them. So, for instance, they started bringing in Black Arc bombardments. And they were, I don't know if you all noticed or not, but they almost, not entirely, but almost exclusively targeted my Jade Warriors, which is one good example of why this unit got destroyed. My Jade Warriors were certainly an issue for the druki in that battle because they were numerous. But the bigger issue was the fact that if you can't at least deal with the crossbows, you're going to get mowed over. And so the AI made very poor decisions throughout that battle. There's other times when I see the AI make better decisions, and they do better. So I think that they're just going to have to continue to refine and test and try different things with the AI and see if they can eventually bring some better decision-making and overall balance to the AI's ability to pose an effective challenge to the player while also not just being cheaty and annoying, right? So I think there's always a line to walk there. All right, so it says we're going to lose to these guys. I don't agree. In fact, I'm just going to... Well, if I encircle them, I think I continue to take... Oh, I thought I might take Chaos Attrition. I won't. I'm just going to encircle them. I have no reason to attack them on the walls at the moment. Wei Jin can be improved. This is good. We could use a little money, but I guess the fortunate thing is here is that we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 full armies. So despite the fact that we're a little low on money, holy cow, man, Lokir is back with another large army here. Despite the fact that we're a little low on money, we have a ton of forces. Really, it won't let me fight the battle here. I can climb walls. This is stupid. Alright. Having to waste a turn here is annoying because it's going to give Lokir a chance to come after me. I'm going to continue the siege here. I'm a little irritated by that. If by a little, I mean a lot, actually. That is frustrating. We can't do any of this because we're not in the encamp stance. Alright. So I'm going to hold that there, but I mean, that's going to give Lokir time to react. But what I could do, and it looks like they're already assigned to him, hopefully Miao Ying can come over here and scare off Lokir. Let's see what we got going up here. Number of armies. Paying an additional 12% upkeep just because of the number of armies. We're not anywhere near Confederation with Miao Ying. Let's go over and check out Quick Deal.
Instrument of the divine.
The Western provinces would like one. So they would like a confederation, as would the Jade Custodians. And I'm looking at the Jade Custodians. They have Nakai on their flank. Now, granted, we could probably handle that. And we have the Caravan of Blue Roses on our flank over here. Which should get interesting. But I definitely want to get all the legendary lords in first. So I'm definitely going to take the confederation with the Western provinces.
Western provinces bid you a warm welcome.
Well, thank you. Let's see if we went into the negative money-wise, because, yep, because of all the additional armies. So they are going to have... Ooh, look at all those Jade Lions. That is very tempting. I don't want this Iron Hail Gunner. I do want those Lions, though. This army's a little low on infantry. It's not too bad, though. We could ditch the Iron Hail Gunner when we get a chance.
Dragon-blooded sugar.
We've got some good stuff we can use here, and then we've got that Alchemist and Lord, which are both just tier 1 characters. That one's tier 6, not that big a deal. We've already got an Alchemist here at tier 6. What other stuff did they bring to us? Is that it in terms of... Let's just go look at a few things here real quick. Let's take some inventory of what's just happened. Okay, so that is the army we've identified. We've identified that one. We have a character down here who's just wasting upkeep. So let's go ahead and disband that character. Are there any others like that? Have a Wounded Lord. Okay, it doesn't look like we have any other wasted characters per se. Let's go ahead and take a look at like Hanyu Port, for instance. It is nice that we can have some of these things. I don't love that. This building's in the wrong place. This building's in the wrong place. We can tear those down. Otherwise, he's got income generating buildings here, which are nice. But I'd rather them be the yen version. Because they boost your tariffs. Speaking of tariffs, let me get back in here over to Quick Deal, and let's see if we can boost our income. Oh, we most certainly can. We've got trade agreements that have gone undone. Let's balance the offers out here and grab some cash while we're at it. So, got some high elf trade available.
Your presence is not appreciated, so be quick with your request.
As you
Yeah. Mouthy high elf. Alright.
Authority.
Quick Deals. Ice Court wants some trade. Balance off these offers. There we go. So this ought to increase our income. And then if we switch those buildings over slowly as we get the chance to yen buildings, and it looks like that's all we have there.
By the comet.
Let's grab a non-aggression pact here.
Very well.
I meant to do the balance that offer, but I don't know why the exiles in the heck. Okay, take it easy, Drika. Take it easy. We hear you. Let's see, What's our standing with Mother Estankia?
I am the Grand Hierophant. It intrigues me.
Okay, there we go. We just picked up some money and some pretty serious trade. Let's go out a quick deal and remind ourselves.
Celestial ancestor.
Oh, really? They don't list. That's cool. They don't list Mother Estankia with the Kislev factions? Or what was I seeing up here at top? Oh, I was looking at Cathay and thinking Kislev. Okay, I just had different things going in my head. Yeah, so we have a good relationship with the Daughters of the Forest. It's extremely friendly. They're not at war with anybody, I don't think, that we just made friends with, so... Well, we picked up a little income there. I mean, it wasn't the most lucrative of trade deals, but they were trade deals, and they put us into the positive. And we have an opportunity to go out and gain some more income here. I actually don't see the army. Okay, yeah, he is moving in on that settlement, and he's going to take it on the next turn. So we need to get in here to the Golden Ziggurat and take care of business. Instead of declaring war, I'm actually going to...
Your next meal has arrived, dear Brack.
Yeah, your next meal, whatever. That's wishful thinking there, Ricarth. Wishful thinking. There's a little Hunts Marshal here, so let's go to join war. Some people might be wondering, Air, what are you doing? I'm going to join the war against Rakarth, and I'm going to use it as an opportunity to solidify my relationship with Wolfheart. I don't love the idea that Wolfheart's going to beat me to some of these settlements, especially those valuable medicinal plants there. That kind of actually pisses me off a little. But I need to get the Great Turtle Isle, so I have to go focus somewhere, and later on I might be able to trade him something for those, so we'll see. So this makes them very happy, and essentially I can extort some money out of him for joining this war.
All right.
And I join it, and that's also going to build allegiance points with them, so that if we end up needing to do some recruiting from the Hunts Marshal, we will be able to do so easier. So now I can move on land,
With the dragons
and we'll attack the Golden Ziggurat, and then we'll get to the Great Turtle Isle before Wolfheart could get there. So, should be good. I think we have a lord here who hasn't moved. There's a giant army of Tzeentch out here, led by Village the Curseling.
Child of the Nine.
I think we should be able to destroy it. We've got long range, we've got the drum for close in, I've got Iron Hail gunners, crane gunners. I mean, we should be able to shred a Tzeentch army feasibly here. It says we're not going to be able to. I'm trying to look for reasons why they would be correct. Yeah, I don't see how their army rolls through us here. I think they're going to get beaten, and beaten badly. Let's go ahead and fight the battle here, and hopefully I'm correct. I'll get to some more of your comments as we're loading in. Jeff Jones says, I wonder if Marathi's YOLO decision was due to her being outnumbered in the air? Could be. Could be again, though, but see, those are good decision-making things for CA to go back and look at, and just kind of do some testing and take feedback from, say, like a group of players who has a ton of time in the game. Like, they could get people, for instance, to sign up for feedback. I know a lot of the creators would be happy to do so, and they could take that feedback and then like try different things in little betas, and then continue to take that feedback and work with it until they get it to a point where they feel like they have changed the game in a good way. Let's take a look at this terrain and make sure that we use it properly. It's a little bit awkward terrain because of this terraced rice paddy. That is an easy target, that Chaos Sorcerer of Tzeentch on that War Shrine. Village would not be a terribly difficult target for our cannons. Our cannons are placed here. They're going to have some really nice firing positions, because they still get a little bit of arc, but if I place them here, they're well within range of the enemy, and they get a pretty nice arc up into those terraced platforms there. Let's put these Jade Warriors up front. Their shields are going to be very good against Village, and I'm going to put direct support here for the cannons. And then do something like this. There we go. And then we need... I love this terrain for crane guns. It's a little bit awkward. I think it should be alright, though. Let's do something like this. That'll work.
Order and balance.
Alright. I'm going to leave my swordsman in a defensive stance, at least for now, because I need him to kind of help hold the breach there. I'm going to take these crane guns, put them in a defensive stance, cannons into defensive stance. Iron Hail Gunners, I'm going to put them up front. They have very limited range, but if anything charges me, we can bash it up pretty nicely. And then our Dragon-Blooded Shugengen Lord, I'll put for support right there near the middle. Then our War Drum, same thing, we're going to want it out of the way of the cannon, but within support radius. Just should be for the ability there. Yeah, it's going to hit all of our units. Okay. Alright, let us get things started here, and I'm going to go ahead and start beating the drum here.
Upon our triumph, we shall bask in the dragon's immortal love.
Order and balance.
And let's target our cannons appropriately. I'm going to target that Tzeentch Sorcerer. I want to go see what magic they have available. Blue Fire, Gleam Magic. Oh gosh, they have Tzeentch's Firestorm. Yeah, please kill that thing. My crane guns are going to focus on it too when it gets into range. I don't want the Tzeentch Firestorm anywhere near me. I'm going to actually focus on Village real quick with my crane guns, because that Tzeentch Sorcerer has decided to stay in the background. And Village is pretty strong, so I'd love to take a chunk out of him first.
Iron Hail Gunners.
I love the sound of that war drum in the background. It sounds so cool.
Bathed in celestial light.
Never conquered.
Alright, open fire. Iron Hail Gunners. We're gonna knock all their barriers off with the Iron Hail Gunners here. See if we can get one more volley. One more volley, one more volley. Let it loose. There we go. Alright, flee back. We got a little damage into Village. Oh gosh. We just got hit hard by a blue fire there. I'm gonna try and put that War Shrine down. Maybe we will lose this battle, I don't know. We'll see. We have some significantly powerful units headed towards us. But if we can take down that War Shrine, that would be a good start.
Descendant of dragons. Dragons.
Please don't.
Hear my
Tzeentch's
prayer.
Firestorm me.
For the Emperor. They will perish.
We've got some problems initially here. There's screamers behind my lines. Got into my cannons.
Defenders of Patchy.
Oh boy, we got the Knights of Immolation headed into. I'm not sure that this was very well thought out on my part. We do have reinforcements though. Start running them over. Oh my gosh, like flipping through a hill there. Alright, we're about to get rid of that sorcerer. Please don't drop a firestorm before I get you killed.
Shenyang's faithful.
Let's see if we can hit these guys. I'm trying to get rid of those units. Here comes the Knights of Immolation in on another charge. So a few Marauders broke through that front line. That happens sometimes. Oh, no, 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 don't do that.
Order and balance.
Oh my gosh, man. It has taken way more to get rid of that sorcerer than I thought it would.
Shenyang's faithful.
We lost a couple of cannon pieces here. War Drum is definitely helping at the moment, but we are running out of units to guard our back lines. They've got a pink, exalted pink coming in behind me.
The celestial
And the Doom Knights got in behind me here. That's not good.
Repositioning.
They come out of that fight. Slow those Doom Knights down. Can you guys please get rid of those exalted pinks?
Guided by ancestors.
And you start focusing there. Woo, we've got to have that War Drum. The War Drum is a no-compromise unit for us at the moment. Alright, get after that Doom Knight, and let's pull our crane guns back over here. We are getting a hold of that exalted pink pretty nicely. I'm hoping I can hold the Doom Knights. We're in a somewhat desperate situation here. Okay, that's good news.
Iron
Alright,
Hail
Exalted Pinks are
Gunners.
down. Let's start moving Iron Hail Gunners out towards the flank. What do we got over here? Okay, our reinforcements. Let's just start plowing them in to help.
For the Emperor!
We've got a, like I said, we got a relatively desperate situation going here.
Defenders of Cathay!
Iron Hail
We can start to
Gunners.
clean up this
Marching
flank a
as
little
one.
here. Oh gosh, no.
March in ordered ranks.
I'm getting killed by Tzeentch magic here.
Defend the realm!
Wind and
Put those guys
fire.
under. And then as soon as we get these peasant bows in range, start pouring into the side of those chosen.
Praise the dragon.
Same thing there.
Spears! Defenders
Just
of
get up here, I need help. Alright, I'm gonna actually move these crane gunners back here a little, so that if we get broken through right there, I've got a little bit of space.
and steel!
We need to focus on trying to keep our war drum in this fight. It's taken some shots from that
Seeking Cathay's
pink
sword.
out there.
The celestial
I'm gonna send some units that way to help it.
Fated.
Restore order!
Oh my gosh. Do the same thing. I'm gonna fall this crane gunner back a little bit outside of range. We've got to get rid of that
Fated.
sour guts or whatever they are there.
Gunners.
What's the name of these guys?
Wind.
Yeah, sour guts. They're hurting my war drum pretty good,
Infinite pride.
but I do have reinforcements on the way. Oh, Knights of Immolation.
Gunners.
Somehow they're still alive.
Conquered.
Okay,
Iron Hail Gunners.
Iron Hail Gunners.
Crane Gunners.
Let's get up here and
Sent by dragons.
light up those pinks.
Sun Yang sends us.
And let's take some of these units. Still peasant long spears. Oh, they're killing my drum. We can't lose the drum.
Fighters won! Warriors! Yes!
Gotta kill that thing. And then you all can focus on that Chaos Warrior with Halberd over there now. We're gonna lose our cannon crews. I'm just gonna run them away.
Seeking Cathay's foe.
Just run away. Just try and keep them alive at the moment. War Drum needs to stay alive, so I'm gonna flee away from that.
My chosen place.
Drop a little bit of health
This
there.
is the way.
Let's bring in these extra infantry units to help out over here. We gotta keep the War Drum
Master of the
close.
winds.
Marching as a one.
Alright, we're getting rid of those pinks over there. Our cannons are getting away. We tore apart that warrior with halberd. We should be able to finish off that spawn now, too. Village, of course, is an issue.
Ready to rule.
And I'm being chased by these aspiring champions that I'd really rather not get involved with.
Ungilded foot. A new path.
Excellent. Okay. Wow, that was a brutal fight. And I think once I got on the battlefield, I realized that we had definitely picked a fight with a very powerful army. This was not one of my, insane crossbow armies where we just rip apart the enemy in moments with crossbows. Chosen with halberds. Let's finish those up. Do as much damage as possible to old Tzeentch here. And get Village dead. We'll Pokemon the ability that we get from him.
Fire in the blood.
This will be good. Hopefully we'll pick up some skill points from
Bringing harmony.
having destroyed these guys. Let's fire at those chosen.
Iron Hail Gunners.
Wow, we killed some tough units here. Some very tough units. Those chosen are gone. Let's finish off. Look at this warrior. He's about to get absolutely executed. Ooh, down for the count. Okay. And then that's the aspiring champions we were chasing up over here. They're not going to be easily killed. They have a ton of armor. Yeah, it's going to be tricky to cut into them. I slowed them down to try and make it a little easier where they can't quite escape. And we're going to drop some of their hit points there. But yeah, I'll go ahead and let my units kind of pick up this. Wow, that was a heck of a fight, but a fun one. And you can see the AI actually was a whole lot more intelligent here too. It recognized the range deficit. It attacked me near immediately when I got out here, and because of its near immediate attack, it was far more successful rather than if it had sat back and let me pummel it with the cannons and the crane guns So again, this is a good example where the AI can make just slightly smarter choices and make a huge difference in the difficulty that the player feels in battle. So that was a good one. It's a better one than I expected, and it was fun. So that tells me that we need to keep improving our armies, but before we can do that, that means we need to improve our income. And to improve our income, we're going to have to keep focusing on those caravans. We'll have to focus on getting income buildings, the yen kind, that increase our trade tariffs. So we can try and increase our money from that. And then we can focus elsewhere on some more income with more trade goods. We can also use those settlements along the wall to reduce our upkeep over time, which will help as well. Of course, not a permanent solution, but we picked up a ton of money off a village. I'm actually just going to take the extra money because we can fall back into our settlement and replenish. But that was a massive army from village there, and a tough one. So a very solid victory for us. Let's see how many skill points we picked up there. 3. I figured we would get quite a few. We'll finish unyielding, which we clearly need. And as far as the other, we have Eastern Fires here, which will add ammunition and missile strength to our crane guns, iron hail guns, so forth. Those iron hail guns were actually fairly helpful there. They're a little risky because they can die easy, but all they need is a volley or two into a unit, and they have utterly destroyed it for the most part. We picked up a lot of money on that turn in, so that was very valuable. We're going to keep them sieged. What else do we have available to us here? Warpstone Desert. I had mentioned that these need to be the yen version, so let's convert some of these. I can try and rebalance the yin and yang a little bit, but we will deal with that later. I want to go ahead and convert a bunch of these and see if we can start reeling in some more trade income. I'm trying to remember those buildings, though. Remind me as I go to it. Did I have of them sitting there building them all? Where did I put those? Oh, wherever. Somewhere around here. Give me a second. I'm going to find one of them. Saw it right here. Okay, yeah, this building. So this one is 325 income. It's up to 403 now. This one would drop our income, but we would gain, pretty good percentages of trade tariffs, which honestly, I think would be worth more. I guess we could take a look real quick and just be sure. If I'm looking at... Yeah, our trade forecast is 4,462. We've got significant building income, too. So, I mean, that's a pretty big income buff if we just keep stacking all of those towards that. So yes, we will lose some income per turn, but I'm hoping these will make up for it because they're adding percentages onto that 4,000 some odd number there that we can make up for along the way. So every 1% of 4,400 is another 44. So if it goes up by, up to 6% here, so 6 times the 44, that's 200 something, we should see it be worth it is what I'm hoping for. So we'll try and stack that up. I'll switch these over, and then we'll see whether or not that ends up being a mistake on my part. But let's go ahead and start switching them over. I can work on rebalancing later if we need to. We're tearing down that stable. This balloon building doesn't belong out here either. Let's tear that down, because that's just wasted effort there. In the Warpstone Desert, I'm switching a bunch of these buildings over to yen, which means that I could switch some of these over to... I actually think this is just the wrong building. Are we struggling to control the Warpstone Desert? A little bit, yeah. Okay. I'm going to switch those over to the Yang variant. Go ahead and spend that money there. Okay, I don't have a ton of money, so I don't want to overdo it here. Alright, well, we've righted the ship a little bit in terms of what's going on. I need these two armies to get together. And it's probably better if we just stick in friendly territory here. So I'm going to have these two armies swap some units, and then I'm going to disband one of those armies on the next turn. And I'll just use one army to hold back here. We don't need to expand over here at the moment. We just need to hold our ground against the ogres, which we can do pretty successfully, I think. We have unassigned skill points. Let's handle those before I end the episode, because we are close to ending an episode here. Let's see, Titanic Impact. Celestial Patchy, what does this do? Attacks rattled. Ooh, a vortex. So if we ground ourselves, we can use this. Attacks cause a rattled effect. Okay, let's try that Titanic Impact. This will just make Patchy... Oh my gosh, yeah, that's beautiful. You're going to be debuffing enemy troops significantly. So that is a good deal all around. Let's take a look at our Astromancer here. We definitely want to start with Curse of the Midnight Wind and Scouting. Will help pick us up. And speaking of Scouting, better go take a look at the details on some of these characters. Pretty good shape there. Yuan Bo. You have this Vorpal Shard versus the Shrieking Blade.
Marching to war.
I don't know, the Shrieking Blade is pretty great. I think I'm going to stick with the Shrieking Blade for now. Vorpal Shard's pretty good though too. 8 melee attack and pick up some good weapon strength. I'm going to go ahead and do it, and let's see if we have any other units here. So Crystal of Kunlan is pretty good. Let's throw that one on, and then enchanted items. We don't have an enchanted item available at the moment. We want some of these lords to be better equipped to begin
Power
with.
in the blood.
Can I not pick these guys? Guess not. It's weird. Maybe because they're not in use or something? I don't know. Let's see if we can give this guy anything here. The Anklet Chain, immune to psychology. Let's see, Quicksilver Armor. Berserker Sword. Tormentor Sword would be good. Chain, let's give him that. Let's throw this Jade Amulet on here. It's not going to be particularly valuable, but gives us something. See if there's any useful ancillaries here. War Banner. Lion Whisperer. Leadership. Immune to Psych. Yeah, we'll throw some of these on here. It's not going to be a bad thing for his army. And alright, there we go. Alright, so let's see who else.
Dismantle them.
Obsidian Lodestone. Yeah, it's not bad. We're in pretty good shape here. Serpent Fang. Right here. So this character... This is the one I'm going to disband, actually. I don't remember where this one's at. They may not actually be present with an army right now.
We are Cathays.
So I'm not going to get too worried about it. Just continue the siege there. Let's go ahead and end our turn. We do have a commandment available. And control +4. Yep, all that looks good. Another commandment available. Looks good. Gonna hold our compass direction. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I will be producing a lot of these going forward, so continue to hand me your feedback. It looks like we're all the way up at Strength Rank 1 here, too, which is pretty impressive, in my opinion, for being this early. The Ogres wish for a peace treaty. I see no reason not... Well, I mean, they're still at war with these other guys, but let's just go ahead and give it to them for now. There's no reason for us to fight them. That'll help us keep an eye on the Caravan of Blue Roses anyway. So I will see you all in the next episode, and it looks like that Lokir did show up in time to provide reinforcements, so we're going to have a fight on our hands here with Celestial Patchy, but I feel like with his recent strength upgrades, Celestial Patchy might be able to lay it down on Lokir. We'll see. I hope he doesn't have his dragon. He does not. I can see that he does not have his dragon. So I think we can handle this one. So we'll see you on that one next time. HeirofCarthage, signing out.